Marcus, good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. A little jealous you guys got access to those smoothies and juice right now.
Yeah, well, those things are fire, man. We're going
Great.
to talk a little bit about more of those coming up here inside the interview. But your reaction last night, New Orleans front and center right now, and mainstream news, whether it's sports or really kind of pop culture, everybody talking about Zion being drafted number one. You've been the toast of that city. What would you have advice for Zion as he makes his way down to South Louisiana?
I would just say, man, soak it in and enjoy it. I mean, there's no sports culture like in New Orleans, and yeah, I mean, he's got a young nucleus they're building down there. It should be fun.
Marques Colston joining us here on Off the Bench. How much is there crossover between the Saints and the Pelicans franchise? We were talking about Cam Jordan and him really supporting the Pelicans. He was at the Fulton Street pep rally last night before the draft. But as a former Saints player, how much interest do you have in the Pelicans?
A ton. I mean, they play right across the street, obviously, but no, I think it's a really New Orleans is a really great sports town, and you know, they really support an organization, a franchise that's about winning, and I think the moves that the Pelicans are making, I mean, they're definitely showing that, and I think the fans will get behind it, and it'll be a good season to watch.
The Quiet Storm, one of the Saints' all-time favorite players, like you said, Jordy, Saints Hall of Famer now. What's retirement been like these last few years, man?
It's been fun. It's been fun. I've been fortunate enough to find something I'm equally passionate about with entrepreneurship, and
Okay.
it's been a smooth transition. Just enjoying not getting hit for a while, and still competing at a high level.
So speaking of not getting hit, I want to ask you about one of your old running mates. What's it like for you, someone who has so much insight into this? Like, what's it like for you to see Drew Brees at his age still out there playing at the level that he is?
It's impressive to watch, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. What made him great to me was his preparation, and it's really 360-degree preparation. So he's always taking care of his body. He's always going to be, the sharpest guy in the room when it comes to the X's and O's. And, he can keep doing this for another 5 years if he wants to.
When you look back on your career, because there were so many great moments, so many great seasons, burst on the scene as a rookie, obviously you got a Super Bowl in there. Like, now that you got a little distance from it, is there anything that really stands out in your mind, like very fondly, like a favorite type of experience or memory?
I mean, there's so many in there, and I said this, I guess it was last week at the Hall of Fame press conference. The further you get away from it, the more opportunities you get to reflect. Like when you're in it, you're just really day to day, and you're really just trying to find your edge on a daily basis to compete. But being 4 years out now, being able to come back and get back with the Legends community and really have a chance to reflect. There's so many different moments. That are memorable, that are meaningful, and I think that'll only continue to grow over time.
Yeah, and Marcus, I know a lot of Saints fans were really sad to see you go, but it looks like you almost passed the baton to another great young wide receiver in Mike Thomas right now, who's been unbelievable. I mean, what he did last year, leading the NFL in receptions, was crazy. I want to ask you, as a former wide receiver, because there's like a debate raging in the NFL right now, should you pay wide receivers or not? What do you think that the Saints should do with Mike Thomas?
I mean, I think with the production that he's putting up, the one thing that you don't want to do as an organization is watch a talent like that walk out the door and go tear it up somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think, I think that they'll probably get something done here soon. Clearly not on the inside, but a young talent like that, you feel like you got to lock him up, and it feels like he wants to be there long term. And I think it's just been a really good fit, to date, and I think that'll continue for years to come.
He had 125 catches last season. You had 711 in your time as a New Orleans Saint and his time as a pro, which is the all-time franchise leader in catches. You're also the all-time leading in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, total touchdowns. I mentioned you had 711 receptions. 706 of those came from Drew Brees. That chemistry that you guys had while you were playing alongside each other, it seems like he and Thomas have that. What goes into building that?
It's time on task and repetition. I mean, you only get so many reps, in a practice. The schedule kind of dictates that you're on and off the field pretty quick. So it's those times in the off season. It's those times after practice. When the rest of the crew goes inside. I mean, it's just time on task, and you got to be able to see the field through the same lens as he sees it. And if you can get on that same page, it's that nuance that makes the difference.
Marques Colston joining us here, ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Alexandria. What were those off seasons like? What were some of those off seasons like in building that chemistry with Breeze and the rest of the crew?
I mean, it's a lot of repetition. I mean, it's when you get the playbook, you see the X's and O's, and you see how the routes are drawn up. And the reality is, those off seasons, like I said before, it's really finding those nuances. It's certain angles, it's certain looks, and if you can see the defense the same way that he sees it, those are the looks that you work on in the off season, and you really get to a place where you can react as things are happening, and you can almost see them start to unfold, and that's when you're really rolling.
Marques, you mentioned the Hall of Fame press conference just a couple of weeks back here in South Louisiana, and you and Reggie Bush are the headliners of that class, the first and the last pick of that 2006 draft class for Sean Payton. That draft class is steadily referenced. That season is steadily referenced by kind of the turnaround of the Saints franchise. How much pride do you as a group or you as an individual to be a part of that group have to be in that season coming in and kind of being the forefront, the front line of getting New Orleans, the New Orleans Saints franchise kind of back and right?
No, I mean, I think, first and foremost, can't leave out former Governor Blanco. I think she played as an important role as anybody in making sure that the Saints stayed here. And I think, to go in with the class that represented, kind of the resurgence of the Saints, which, feels like it helped to help to start the resurgence of New Orleans and the Gulf region. Again, it's one of those things where as you're in it, you're just trying to win football games, but, having some time away and being able to really look back and reflect on it, I mean, it really is truly special. And, I said it at the conference, and I really mean it. I truly am humbled to go in with a class that really represents that and really represents a first-class organization, and that means so much to that city.
I mean, it's legendary. It's like one of those turning points in history. And now you got the Superdome getting brand new upgrades. Miss Gail Benson's leadership's rocking and rolling. I mean, everything kind of you can almost trace back to that 06 draft class. Marques, I want to ask you a bit about the post-playing career. So football players, you're obviously incredibly physically dedicated. You work out 24/7 for years and years, and when you get done, you can kind of go one of two ways. You can go the Eric Martin route. Maybe you're just like hanging out a little bit, not hitting the gym so much, or you like staying in shape. Like, what's it like now for you post-football? How are you staying in shape? What do you got going on?
I looked the part, but no, I joke with guys all the time that are like teeter-tottering on retirement, and I ask them one question: Are you working out or are you training? They're two totally different things. So I can say that I work out every now and again, but there's no training on the horizon for me.
Does it feel good? A little more relaxed?
It does. It does. I mean, for me, it's just about just maintaining a healthy lifestyle. I try to eat right, and I get in the gym every now and again just so I can keep up with my kids. But no, it's been fun post football.
One way to do that is freak with the Main Squeeze Juice Company.
I mean, for sure.
The place is great, man. Tell me about your involvement over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been steadily growing. I've been involved, my wife and I, for about a year and a half now, and just to really see the vision come to life, and the ability to make healthy easy for the masses was something I was really passionate about. And, got a chance to link up and partner with the corporate team there. And we've been pretty involved from afar, and, just been helping to facilitate growth. And it's just been awesome to watch. And, to get somebody like Thomas Morstead on board, a guy that we went to battle with for years, just speaks volumes about the family environment that we're trying to build. And I think the product starts to speak for itself.
I mean, speaking of meatheads, Thomas Morstead might be the most meathead punter of all time.
Marques, it's a cool moment for our show to catch up with you this morning. Thanks for stopping by.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Always.
Thanks so much, man.
There he is.
Quiet storm. I think it's the first time I ever got to interview him.
Marques Colston
awesome.
here on Off the Bench. We'll be back and close out hour number 1.